You know that thing you keep telling yourself you'll quit tomorrow? That habit you swore you'd stop last week, last month, last year? Here's something nobody tells you. Your brain is literally working against you right now, and until you understand why, you're fighting a battle you can't win. But stick with me for the next few minutes, because what I'm about to share completely changed how I understand addiction, and it might just be the missing piece you've been looking for. Let me ask you something real quick. Have you ever noticed how the thing you're trying to quit seems to call to you the loudest, right when you're stressed or feeling down? That's not a coincidence. That's your brain doing exactly what it's designed to do. And here's the wild part. It thinks it's actually helping you survive. Scientists at the National Institute on Drug Abuse discovered that addiction literally rewires your brain's reward system, making your brain prioritize the addictive behavior the same way it prioritizes eating food or drinking water. Your brain genuinely believes that whatever you're addicted to is necessary for your survival. Think about that for a second. You're not weak, you're not broken. You're fighting against millions of years of evolutionary programming that's misfiring. Now here's where most people get it completely wrong. They think willpower is the answer. They think if they just try harder, want it more, or discipline themselves enough, they can muscle through it. But willpower is like a battery. It runs out. You can't rely on something that depletes throughout the day, especially when you're tired, hungry, or emotionally drained. That's why you can go 3 days strong and then suddenly find yourself right back where you started, feeling like a failure. But you're not failing. You're just using the wrong strategy. So what's the right strategy? Understanding the cycle. Every addiction follows the same pattern: trigger, craving, behavior, reward. Something happens that triggers you. Maybe it's stress at work, maybe it's loneliness, maybe it's just seeing something that reminds you of the habit. That trigger creates a craving, an intense desire that feels almost physical. You give in to the behavior, and then your brain floods with dopamine, the feel-good chemical that makes everything seem okay for a moment. Your brain remembers this. It writes it down in permanent marker. When I feel this bad feeling, I do this thing, I feel better. The next time that trigger appears, your brain automatically reaches for the same solution, faster than you can even think about it. Breaking free isn't about fighting this cycle head-on. It's about interrupting it intelligently. You need to identify your triggers with brutal honesty. And I mean write them down, all of them, even the ones that seem stupid or small. Is it driving past a certain place? Is it the time of day? Is it being around specific people? Is it emotions like anxiety, anger, or even happiness? Most people have 3 to 5 major triggers, and if you don't know what yours are, you're basically walking through a minefield blindfolded. Once you know your triggers, here's the game changer. You don't try to eliminate the craving. You expect it. You prepare for it. You create a specific plan for exactly what you'll do when that craving hits, because it will hit. The craving is going to come, but here's what most people don't realize. Cravings are like waves. They build, they peak, and then they crash. Most cravings only last between 10 and 30 minutes. If you can ride out that wave without giving in, it will pass. It always passes, but you can't just sit there white-knuckling it for 30 minutes. You need replacement behaviors, things that are incompatible with your addiction. If your addiction involves your hands, find something else for your hands to do. If it involves being alone, call someone. If it involves being in a certain place, physically remove yourself. The key is planning these replacements before the craving hits, not trying to figure it out in the moment when your brain is screaming at you. And here's something crucial that nobody talks about. You have to change your identity, not just your behavior. If you see yourself as someone who's trying to quit, you're always in a battle. But if you see yourself as someone who simply doesn't do that thing anymore, The battle shifts. Instead of I can't have that, it becomes I don't do that. It's a subtle shift in language, but it completely changes your relationship with the addiction. You're not depriving yourself. You're honoring who you've decided to become. Now, let's talk about the part that makes most people uncomfortable. You're probably going to slip up. And that's okay. Actually, it's more than okay, it's expected. Relapse isn't failure. Relapse is data. It tells you something about your triggers, your strategies, or your support system that wasn't working. The difference between people who eventually break free and people who stay stuck is simple. The ones who break free get back up one more time, then they fall down. They don't waste weeks spiraling in shame. They analyze what happened, adjust their approach, and keep moving forward. But here's the thing, and this is really important. You cannot do this alone. Your brain is too good at lying to you. It will tell you that you don't really have a problem, that you can handle it on your own, that you'll start tomorrow, that one time won't hurt. You need people who will call you out on those lies. You need accountability, whether that's a friend, a support group, a therapist, or an online community. The people who successfully overcome addiction have an average of 3 to 5 people they can reach out to when things get hard. And speaking of hard, let's address the elephant in the room, the underlying pain. Most addictions aren't really about the substance or the behavior. They're about what that substance or behavior is covering up. Trauma, loneliness, anxiety, depression, boredom, lack of purpose. These are the real enemies. The addiction is just a symptom. If you don't address what's underneath, you might quit one addiction only to pick up another. This is why so many people quit smoking and suddenly find themselves overeating, or stop drinking and become workaholics. Different addiction, same pain. You have to be willing to sit with the discomfort, feel the feelings you've been avoiding, and deal with the real issues. Here's what's possible on the other side, though. When you break free, you don't just lose an addiction. You gain yourself back. You gain clarity, energy, self-respect, and genuine joy that doesn't come with a crash afterward. You gain the ability to trust yourself again. You prove to yourself that you're stronger than you thought. And that confidence spills over into every other area of your life. So if you're struggling right now, if you've tried and failed before, if you're scared that this time won't be different, let me tell you something. The fact that you're still trying means you haven't given up. And as long as you haven't given up, you're still in the fight. Your story isn't over. This chapter might be hard, but it doesn't define the whole book. If this resonated with you, do me a favor and hit that like button. And drop a comment telling me which part hit home the hardest, because I read every single one and your story matters. You're not alone in this. There are thousands of people watching this right now who know exactly what you're going through. Let's build a community of people who refuse to stay stuck. Because you deserve better than living in survival mode. You deserve freedom.